guys, some of you might know me because we did the group Zoom session last week. What we thought we would do moving forward is I will start posting some videos in here that will answer some frequent questions and things that you can do to really help with your own social media marketing. My name's Hayley and I'm part of the Get Me Fit team. I'm a social media manager and I've worked in marketing for nearly 10 years. I don't know how it's been 10 years. But Get Me Fit brought me on board to help with their social media marketing, their content, and to obviously help you guys too. So I just thought I'd get that intro out of the way so that we can get into some good stuff. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about today was where to focus your time and efforts. And this is going to be different for everybody else. Obviously, marketing is very, very broad, but in this video, I'm just going to talk specifically about social media marketing. So I know there's been some conversations in the group about maybe your demographics not being on Instagram, or maybe they're not on Facebook, and how to know where to focus your time. So that is what we're going to talk about. So firstly, and the most important thing to remember and know is you guys are running your own businesses. That means that not only that you obviously put on your classes, you also have to run a business, and marketing is a massive, massive part of that. So to overlook the marketing and just to think that you can kind of automate everything and that it's going to go well is a really bad oversight, and it's something that you should really reconsider. Marketing needs to be factored into your week, into your day, just as though you do your normal job, your teaching. Marketing is a massive, massive part of that. If you're just automating everything and you're not thinking anything through and there's no real strategy behind what you're actually doing, then your efforts, I'm going to do that because just automating everything is a massive effort. They're going to go to waste, and you're going to think it doesn't work, and you're going to get disheartened, and then you're not going to bother carrying on. So that is why it's very important to do it properly from the get-go so you don't actually waste your time. And by doing it properly, you can actually do a lot less rather than trying to do everything at once and just spreading yourself way too thinly. That's something that I just wanted to also get out of the way. Marketing does take effort, it does take work. It requires that commitment and it requires time, and everybody's strategy here is going to be different because you all have different audiences, but obviously they're all going to be somewhat aligned. So the first thing to note is that you don't necessarily have to be using all of the social media channels. That is just completely unnecessary, especially if your audience aren't going to be there. It's also unnecessary if it's a platform that you really don't feel like you connect with and your audience are also elsewhere. If you've only got limited time, which I'm sure a lot of you do because you're very busy people, you've got classes to run, it's much better to just focus on one channel and to do it really, really well than trying to spread yourself too thinly. So the first thing you really want to think about is, right, who are my audience and where do they hang out? Where are they spending their time? What kind of communities are they in on social media? What kind of groups do they hang out in? Are they more Instagram? Are they more Pinterest? Are they more Facebook? Are they on LinkedIn? There's many different channels that you can look at, and I personally believe from a marketing standpoint for small businesses that it's essential really that you just focus on one and do it really well. Once you've nailed that channel and once you feel really confident with what you're doing in that channel or in that specific group, you can then start to introduce another platform or another particular space within that platform. So that's obviously going to take a little bit of market research, and everybody's audiences are going to be in different places. So for example, if it's Facebook again is very broad. You know, are you engaging with people from your personal profile? Have you set up a business page, or are you going to be engaging in groups? It's really something that you guys need to figure out and really hone in on and have a think about where you want to be spending your time, because that's where your audience actually are. Another really important thing to consider is what kind of content do you actually enjoy creating? I think a lot of you in here are quite new to creating content, but it's very important to also bear in mind that you need to think about the kind of content you're going to be creating for what platform. So for example, if you're somebody who likes to write content instead of speaking on video, Facebook is a great option because you can write very long form posts, and people are used to consuming that type of media. Whereas on Instagram, it's much more visual. It's much different to Facebook. So if writing long copy is your thing and your audience are on Facebook, that is an absolute win. If writing copy is your thing and Instagram is where your audience are, you can just change the kind of content that you're posting over on Instagram to be more long form and copy heavy, as opposed to posting pictures if that's not necessarily your thing. I'm gonna do another video on content because that deserves a whole other thing, but right now, let's just look at where you're going to be focusing your time. When it comes to choosing your platforms, one thing that I really want you guys to think about is to not just hook up your Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and whatever else you've got, because although you feel like you're really doing yourself a service getting that content out multi-channel, you're not actually focusing on any one individual channel, and all of the platforms work very differently. People on the channels engage very differently. So what people engage with on Facebook, they may not necessarily engage with on Instagram or on Twitter. The way that content gets put out should be very different, and you really should create it specifically for each platform in order to maximize engagement. Because what is the point in spending your time creating this content and not actually get any engagement in return? That's the whole point in just kind of choosing one place to focus on. So you can choose on that one place and do it really, really well, as opposed to just linking them all up and just sending the content out because you think, right, yep, great, I've put out a post and everyone's going to see it and that's going to be great, because that's really not how it works. Social media has grown so much, and they're really cottoning on to the fact that businesses they're not cottoning on, they cottoned on years ago, but they know that businesses use their platforms to advertise. So they make it really difficult for people to see your content. So you need to get engagement from the get-go and just kind of posting out content without really thinking about it, without really thinking about whether that's the right piece of content for that platform, you're just going to kind of lose that engagement, and it really becomes a pointless exercise. And again, you go back into that vicious circle of feeling like you're not actually getting anywhere. Then you fall off the wagon and don't bother posting. Then you think, oh, I better post, and then the cycle continues. Focus just on one specific platform, one channel, do it really, really well. Start to understand your insights, understand engagement, try lots of different types of content, see what's working, what resonates with people, what sparks the engagement, as opposed to just thinking up a post, linking the channels together and just getting it out just because you feel like you're ticking a box. There's just not really any point in doing that at all. Another thing to think about, guys, is how much time do you really have? So I understand that you guys are really time limited, and that's probably a reason that you want to hook up your channels and hook them up just so you can get all of your posts out to multi-channels. So you don't have much time. So what is the point in trying to spread yourself too thinly when you could use that time collectively to just focus on one channel and do that one thing really, really well? And when I say do that one thing really, really well, obviously that takes a lot of trial and error and practice. And you should be trying something for at least 3 to 6 months consistently on one platform before you decide what's working, what's not working. You should be doing a review every couple of weeks, and you should be keeping really on top of your platform, see what content's working to do more of, what content's maybe falling short to kind of maybe not do so much of that content. So I think those are really the top lines in terms of what I wanted to talk about in terms of where to spend your time. Hopefully you've got the gist that I believe and advise that you just focus on one specific channel/platform and really, really do as much as you can on that one thing before you decide to look further afield. And definitely don't be just like automating your posts across the platform anymore. And at the end of the day, content is just one thing that actually gets people to see you. Engagement is the biggest thing that you need to be doing. So that will come in another video. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will share plenty more insight with you soon. If you've got any questions, just pop them in the comments bit below, and yeah, we can chat there.